طلاب الصف الثالث الاعدادي، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. من جديد احييكم، معاكم مستر احمد ابراهيم، سلسلة تشارمينج ان انجلش. بنكمل مع بعض ان شاء الله النهارده الريفيجن بتاعتنا. عندنا ريفيجن بارت 4، ريفيجن اون ذا ستوري بلاك بيوتي. طبعا ما ننساش طبعا ان احنا نعمل فولو على صفحتنا على الفيسبوك، ونعمل سبسكرايب على قناتنا على اليوتيوب، ونعمل شير ونعمل لايك. بسم الله بنبدأ. بنشوف اول نموذج بيقابلنا. اول سؤال عندنا سؤال الماتش. Black Beauty was the horse Lady Anne liked to ride. Ginger said if they don't tighten the reins more, I will do what they asked me. York was Earl Smith's helper. Lady Smith liked the latest fashion. Do you think that Ginger was right to start to kick? هل بتعتقد ان جينجر كانت محقة ان هي تركل مرة تانية؟ Why or why not؟ طبعا ممكن تقول yes، ممكن تقول no، وتقول الريزون. مثلا لو قلنا yes يبقى yes because she was very uncomfortable، لان هي كانت بتشعر بعدم الراحة. How do we know that York cared about Ginger and Black Beauty؟ ازاي نعرف ان يورك اهتم بجينجر وبلاك بيوتي؟ As he was angry about the special reins، لانه كان غضبان جدا بسبب الاطواق اللي كانت عايزاها ليدي سميث. and he helped them when they were hurt، وساعدهم طبعا لما جرحوا او اصيبوا. النموذج الثاني عندنا match. Black Beauty was taken to a market for horses. Mr. Barry was a rich man who bought Black Beauty. Mr. Barry's friend suggested buying good food for Black Beauty for a few weeks. Fletcher was accused of stealing the horse's food. Do you think that Black Beauty was angry with Ginger because he was hurt؟ هل بتعتقد ان Black Beauty كان غضبان من جينجر لانه اصيب؟ Why or why not؟ ممكن هنا نقول طبعا no because he realized that Ginger did this because the reins were uncomfortable. هو ادرك ان جينجر عملت كده لان الاطواق كانت غير مريحة. Why do you think that Earl Smith said that he might not get much money for Ginger؟ باعتقادك ليه ايرل سميث قال ان هو ممكن ما تحصلش على فلوس كتير من جينجر او لما يبيع جينجر يعني؟ because Ginger's knees were damaged، لان ركب جينجر كانت متضررة. she also doesn't always do what her owners want، ومش دايما بتعمل اللي بيطلبوا منها المالكين بتوعها. النموذج الثالث عندنا match. جيري باركر was the best owner and a kind taxi driver. Captain was the horse that went out with the taxi carriage in the morning. Jerry's son, Harry, always helped to look after Black Beauty and worked hard. Black Beauty was pleased with his new owner. Why do you think that each of Ginger's owners paid less money for her؟ باعتقادك ليه كل مالكين جينجر كانوا بيدفعوا فلوس أقل فيها؟ طبعا because she was becoming weaker and weaker، لأن هي كانت بتصبح أضعف وأضعف. so she couldn't work very well، لذلك ما كانتش بتقدر تعمل بشكل جيد. do you think that people were always happy to have Jerry as a taxi driver؟ باعتقادك هل كل الناس كانت مبسوطين من جيري أو كانوا بيتعاملوا معاه أو كان محبوب منهم؟ why or why not؟ طبعا هنا he was probably not popular with everyone، هو أكيد طبعا ما كانش معروف بالنسبة للناس كلها أو الناس كلها معاه. because he didn't always do what people asked him to do، لأنه ما كانش دايما بيعمل اللي الناس بتطلبه منه. النموذج الرابع Bully was Jerry's wife. Ginger wasn't able to run very fast after the fall. Jerry believed that a pound wouldn't help if it made the horse tired. Black Beauty was given food before walking for many kilometers. Why do you think that Jerry took Captain to work on Black Beauty's first morning in London؟ باعتقادك ليه جيري أخد كابتن في أول يوم عمل لبلاك بيوتي في لندن؟ I think he didn't want Black Beauty to have a difficult first day. باعتقادي إن هو ما كانش عايز إن بلاك بيوتي يكون أول يوم عمل ليه صعب أو شاق عليه. How do we know that Jerry was a kind man؟ إزاي نعرف إن جيري كان رجل عطوف أو طيب؟ as he took the poor woman to the hospital، طبعا خد الست الغلبانة للمستشفى. when he saw that she needed help، لما رأى ان هي محتاجة المساعدة. النموذج الخامس the doctor told Jerry that he should stop driving a taxi. Skinner was also a taxi driver. Mr. Throgood took Black Beauty to a large field to give him good food. Black Beauty had easier work in the end. Why do you think that Skinner told the girl not to worry؟ ليه برأيك سكينر قال للبنت ان هي ما تقلقش. after she said that Black Beauty looked too weak to carry their bags. بعد ما قالت على بلاك بيوتي ان هو يبدو ضعيف على انه يشيل الشنط او يحمل الشنط بتاعتهم. because he didn't want to lose money لانه ما كانش عايز يفقد او يضيع الفلوس اللي طبعا اللي كان هياخدها منهم. he had to work 7 days a week. كان مضطر يعمل 7 ايام في الاسبوع to get enough money عشان يحصل على نقود كافيه. even when his horses were weak or ill. حتى لو كانت الأحصنة مريضة أو ضعيفة. Why do you think that Black Beauty was sold at the part of the market where the horses were old or ill looking؟ ليه برأيك بلاك بيوتي اتباع في المكان في السوق اللي بيتباع فيه الأحصنة الكبيرة طبعا في السن أو اللي يبدو عليها المرض؟ Because Black Beauty had been ill and now he looked old. لأن بلاك بيوتي كان مريض وكان يبدو عليه الكبر. النموذج السادس. Jerry moved to a cottage with his family so that they could work for Mrs. Fowler. Black Beauty became healthy again after Mr. Thorogood and his grandson looked after him. Joe Green recognized Black Beauty from his white foot and white star. Skinner didn't give Black Beauty enough to eat. Why do you think that Jerry became ill? ليه برأيك جيري أصبح مريض؟ Because he had to wait outside the house of a rich man. لأنه اضطر ينتظر خارج منزل رجل غني. and it was very cold والجو كان برد جدا. Why do you think that Black Beauty was worried when Jerry found work with Mrs. Fowler? باعتقادك ليه بلاك بيوتي شعر بالقلق لما جيري لقى عمل مع Mrs. Fowler؟ Because he was becoming old. لأنه كان بدأ يكبر في السن. and he knew that he might have more difficult work to do in the future. وربما يكون العهد هيجي بعد كده مع الملك الجديد ربما يكون أصعب في المستقبل. النموذج السابع. Captain worked with Black Beauty in driving taxis. Jerry was a kind taxi driver. Harry helped to look after Black Beauty. Mr. Barry bought Black Beauty and lived in Bath. Do you think that Fletcher deserved to be arrested? هل باعتقادك ان فليتشر كان يستحق انه يتم القبض عليه؟ Why or why not؟ طبعا هنا ممكن نقول yes because he was stealing Black Beauty's food. لانه كان بيسرق الطعام بتاع Black Beauty to give it to his rabbits عشان يعطيه للارانب بتاعته. He wasn't a good man. ما كانش راجل كويس. and only thought about himself. وكان بيفكر في نفسه بس. not about Black Beauty. مش في Black Beauty. Why do you think that Skinner made Black Beauty work so hard؟ باعتقادك ليه سكينر كان بيخلي بلاك بيوتي يعمل بجد جدا؟ I think he had to work hard to get enough money. باعتقادي ان هو كان مضطر ان هو يعمل بجد عشان يحصل على نقود كافية to live عشان يعيش. He probably didn't think about Black Beauty's health. وطبعا اكيد ما كانش بيفكر في صحة بلاك بيوتي. النموذج الثامن. ليدي آن liked to ride Black Beauty around the park. Joe Green recognized Black Beauty from his white foot and white star. Mr. Grant rode a horse to keep him healthy. Mr. Barry was the owner of a taxi business. How do we know that Jerry cared about his horses? ازاي نعرف ان جيري كان بيهتم بالأحصنة بتاعته؟ He didn't take the passengers quickly to the station. ما كانش بياخد الركاب بسرعة للمحطة. Because he always thought about his horses. لأنه كان دايما بيفكر في الأحصنة بتاعته. He didn't want his horses to be tired. ما كانش عايز الأحصنة بتاعته تبقى متعبة أو تشعر بالتعب. Why do you think Black Beauty felt sorry for some of the taxi drivers and their horses؟ باعتقادك ليه بلاك بيوتي كان بيشعر بالحزن على بعض سائقي طبعا التاكسي والأحصنة بتاعتهم؟ Because they had to work for very long hours. لأنهم كانوا مضطرين إن هم يعملوا لساعات طويلة to get enough money عشان يحصلوا على نقود كافية. النموذج التاسع. Mr. Grant was the owner of taxi business. Harry was Jerry's son. Mrs. Fowler could find work for Jerry. Skinner decided to sell Black Beauty at the market. Why do you think the rich man didn't apologize to Jerry؟ باعتقادك ليه الرجل الغني ما اعتذرش لجيري when he had to wait for him in the cold؟ لما اضطر يستناه في البرد. He probably thought that it was Jerry's job. باعتقاده ان ممكن يكون دي كانت وظيفة جيري to wait for him ان هو ينتظره. he didn't want او he didn't think that it might be difficult for Jerry and Black Beauty. هو ما اعتقدش ان ده ممكن يكون صعب بالنسبة لجيري او بلاك بيوتي. why do you think Early Shell Park was better than Birtwick Park؟ باعتقادك ليه Early Shell Park كانت افضل من Birtwick Park؟ because it was bigger and more modern، لان هي كانت اكبر واكثر حداثة. النموذج العاشر Ginger said if they don't tighten the reins more I will do what they ask me to do. Mr. Barry, a businessman whose doctor advised him to ride a horse to keep healthy. Jerry, a good horse owner who had a taxi carriage. Mr. Throughood, his grandson was delighted to buy Black Beauty. Why do you think the Earl decided to sell Black Beauty and Ginger؟ باعتقادك ليه إيرل سميث قرر ان هو يبيع Black Beauty وجينجر؟ because they couldn't pull a carriage anymore، لان بعد الحادثه ما قدروش ان هم يسحبوا على العربه مره اخرى او مره ثانيه. why do you think a man at the market opened Black Beauty's mouth؟ باعتقادك ليه الشخص او في شخص في السوق طبعا كان بيفتح بق بلاك بيوتي او بيبص على بق بلاك بيوتي؟ I think because he wanted to make sure of his age. اعتقد ان هو كان عايز يعرف السن بتاعه او يتاكد من السن بتاعه. النموذج ال11 The poor woman asked Jerry about the way to the hospital. Lady Anne was Earl Smith's daughter. Skinner decided to sell Beauty at the market. Harry looked after Beauty with Dolly. Do you think the rich man should pay Jerry for the time he waited outside the house؟ باعتقادك هل كان الرجل الغني كان المفروض يدفع لجيري على الوقت اللي انتظره خارج المنزل؟ Why or why not؟ ممكن نقول هنا yes because if Jerry didn't wait، لأن لو جيري ما كانش استنى he could take other passengers، هو كان ممكن ياخد ركاب آخرين to places لأماكن أخرى and get more money ويحصل على نقود أكتر. Why do you think Ginger stopped kicking people who weren't good to her؟ باعتقادك ليه جينجر توقفت عن ركل الناس اللي كانوش كويسين معاها؟ because she wasn't strong enough to do that، لأن هي ما كانتش قوية بالشكل الكافي إن هي تعمل كده مرة تانية. النموذج ال12 عندنا جو جرين is the boy who worked for Square Jordan. Polly is Jerry's wife. Jerry Barker is a kind taxi driver in London. Ginger is Black Beauty's friend who had a difficult past. Why do you think holidays weren't always an easy time for a taxi driver؟ باعتقادك ليه الأجازات ما كانتش وقت سهل بالنسبة لسواقين التاكسي؟ because they had a lot of work taking people from house to house، لأن كان عندهم وقت أو عندهم عمل كتير إن هم ينقلوا الناس من منزل لآخر. Why do you think it was difficult for horses to pull a carriage up a hill؟ باعتقادك ليه كان صعب على الحصان إن هي تسحب العربة لأعلى التل؟ because they couldn't put their heads down، لأنهم ما كانوش بيقدروا يخفضوا راسهم للأسفل when they were wearing the reins، وهم لابسين الأطواق. نموذج ال13 Black Beauty was the horse Lady Anne liked to ride. Polly was Jerry's wife. Willie was Mr. Throgood's grandson. Skinner decided to sell Black Beauty at the market. Do you think Skinner was a bad owner؟ هل تعتقد ان سكينر كان مالك سيء؟ Why or why not؟ طبعا هنا ممكن نقول yes because he worked 7 days a week، لانه كان بيعمل 7 ايام في الاسبوع and never gave his horses a good rest، وما كانش بيدي الحصانه بتاعته راحه بشكل كويس or enough to eat او طعام كافي لكي ياكلوه. Why do you think Black Beauty didn't recognize Joe Green at first؟ برأيك ليه Black Beauty ما تعرفش على جو جرين في البداية؟ because he was now a tall strong man، لأنه أصبح رجل طويل وقوي. النموذج ال14 Lady Smith was interested in the latest fashion. Jerry Barker took the woman to the hospital and refused to take his pay. Mr. Grant was the owner of the taxi business. Fletcher stole Beauty's food and gave it to his rabbits. Why didn't Jerry go fast for the passengers who wanted to catch a train؟ برأيك ليه طبعا جيري ما مشيش بسرعة أو جريش بسرعة عشان الركاب اللي كانوا عايزين يلحقوا القطر؟ because he didn't want Black Beauty to be tired، لأنه ما كانش عايز Black Beauty إن هو يتعب because then he couldn't do a good job later in the day، لأنه بعد كده ما كانش هيقدر يشتغل كويس طوال اليوم أو بعد كده خلال اليوم. Why did a vet look at Black Beauty؟ ليه في طبيب بيطري بص على Black Beauty؟ A vet looked at Black Beauty after the fall بعد الوقعة طبعا at the market في السوق. He saw that Black Beauty needed food and rest. وشاف ان Black Beauty كان محتاج طعام وراحة. النموذج ال 15 Black Beauty had easier work in the end. Ginger looked very thin and old when Black Beauty met her in London. Mr. Barry was a businessman who bought Black Beauty. Harry was Jerry's son. What advice did Mr. Barry's doctor give him؟ ايه النصيحة اللي اداها الدكتور لمستر باري؟ He advised him to ride a horse. هو نصحه ان هو يركب حصان to keep him healthy عشان يفضل بشكل صحي او يفضل طبعا عنده صحة او يحافظ على صحته يعني. Why do you think Earl Smith's wife used special rings؟ باعتقادك ليه زوجة إيرل سميث استخدمت الأطواق ديت الخاصة أو المميزة ديت؟ Because she liked the fashion لأن هي كانت بتحب الموضة and that was the latest fashion ودي كانت أحدث موضة for horses للأحصنة. نموذج 16 Mr. Barry was a businessman who had little exercise. Fletcher gave Black Beauty's food to his family's rabbits. Black Beauty always felt safe because he trusted Jerry. Mrs. Fowler offered to find work for Jerry if he had any problems. Why do you think Black Beauty found it difficult to live in London at first? Because there was a lot of noise. طبعا برأيك ليه Black Beauty كان بيجد من صعوبة ان هو يعيش في لندن في البداية؟ Because there was a lot of noise لان كان في ضوضاء كتير and a lot of people وناس كتير. It was difficult for him وكان صعب عليه to find his way ان هو يجد طريقه between all the other carriages بين العربات الأخرى. Why do you think it's important to look after working animals carefully؟ ليه برأيك احنا لازم نعتني بالحيوانات العاملة بحرص؟ Because they work much better لأنهم بيعملوا بشكل أفضل when they are given food لما يتم إعطائهم الطعام and are looked after ويتم الاعتناء بيهم. نموذج 17 The doctor told Jerry that he had to stop driving a taxi. Black Beauty had easier work in the end. Harry was Jerry's son. Fletcher was accused of stealing the horse's food. How did Jerry describe Black Beauty to his daughter؟ ازاي جيري وصف Black Beauty لبنته؟ He said he was as gentle as she was. هو قال طبعا ان هي في نفس لطفها او في نفس جمالها يعني. What happened when Black Beauty tried to pull the carriage up a hill؟ ايه اللي حصل لما Black Beauty حاول ان هو يسحب العربة لأعلى التل؟ He fell onto the ground. هو وقع على الأرض and thought that he was going to die. واعتقد ان هو هيموت. النموذج 18 Polly was Jerry's wife. Miss Bloomfield was the woman who lived in the country with her two sisters. Lizzie was a young horse at Earlshall Park. York was the man who worked for Earl Smith. Do you think that the poor woman was pleased with Jerry Parker and why؟ باعتقادك الست الغلبانة دي كانت مسرورة من جيري وليه؟ Yes, because he was kind to her لأنه كان عطوف معاها. Why do you think that the people who looked at Black Beauty at the market were very poor؟ باعتقادك ليه الناس اللي بصت على Black Beauty في السوق كانت فقيرة؟ Because they wanted to buy a horse لأنهم كانوا عايزين يشتروا حصان for as less money as possible بفلوس قليلة على قدر الإمكان. النموذج 19 والأخير Lady Smith liked her horses to use special reins. Earlshall Park was much bigger than Birtwick Park. Captain went out with the taxi carriage in the morning. Joe Green recognized Black Beauty from his white foot and white star. Why do you think Black Beauty began to trust Jerry؟ ليه برأيك Black Beauty بدأ يثق في جيري؟ Because Jerry was so kind لأن جيري كان عطوف جدا and a very good driver too وكان سواق كويس أيضا. What do you think might have happened؟ ايه برأيك اللي كان هيحصل if Black Beauty continued to work for Skinner؟ لو فضل Black Beauty بيعمل مع Skinner for a longer time أو a longer time لوقت أطول. I think he would grow weaker. أظن إن هو كان هيكبر فيصبح أضعف and thinner ويصبح أرفع. في النهاية طبعا اتمنى ان تكونوا استفدتوا معانا من الحلقة ديت، وربنا يوفقكم ان شاء الله. كان معاكم مستر احمد ابراهيم، سلسلة تشارمينج ان انجلش. متنسوش طبعا تعملوا لنا شير ولايك وسبسكرايب على قناتنا على اليوتيوب. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.